Have you ever seen a moment where everything just comes together? Well, October 2025 was exactly that for South Korea. It was an insane snapshot of the country's cultural influence, with everything peaking all in one incredible month.
So it gets you thinking, what does a superpower in the 21st century actually look like? Our minds usually go to military might, economic strength, that kind of thing. But what if the whole definition is shifting? What if real power is now measured in things like streams, views, and global sing-alongs?
You got it. We're talking about Hallyu, the Korean wave. This thing is so much more than a trend. It's a genuine cultural phenomenon that is completely reshaping what global influence even means. In October 2025, man, that was its coming out party.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at the wave of events that made October so huge. Then, we'll dive into the sound of K-pop and why the whole world is obsessed with K-dramas. After that, we'll check out the real-world ripple effects. And finally, we'll try to crack the source code of this new kind of superpower.
All right, first up, let's just set the scene. You have to understand, October wasn't just another month. It was like a perfect storm of festivals, world tours, and national celebrations that basically put all of Korea's cultural exports front and center on the world stage.
And this one date, October 9th, is so key. Officially, it was Hangul Day, celebrating the Korean alphabet. But it really felt like it became a symbol for something way bigger. It was this single moment where the music, the TV shows, national pride, and a massive global fan base all just collided.
And of course, you can't talk about the Hallyu wave without talking about its sound. Let's start with the absolute engine driving this whole movement, K-pop.
The entire month was just packed. You had the APEC Music Festa in Gyeongju, which wasn't just some concert with groups like NCT Wish. No, this was a full-on, high-tech spectacle with drone shows and media art. Then there was the K-pop World Festival in Changwon, which is all about getting fans from all over the world involved. Plus, you had festivals that were literally fusing modern pop with traditional Korean culture. It was wild.
And this wasn't just happening inside Korea's borders. On that same day, October 9th, you had a massive group like 17 heading out to continue their world tour. And that's a crucial part of the whole thing. K-pop isn't static. It's constantly moving, acting as a global ambassador for Korean culture everywhere it goes.
This whole wave is so big, it's created its own unique vocabulary. You've got words like tekchang, which is that incredible moment at a concert when you see thousands of international fans singing along perfectly in Korean. Then there's the very deliberate fusion of K-pop with K-culture, like when you see idols wearing modern versions of the traditional hanbok. And then, of course, there are those golden hits, the songs that just smash through language barriers and become global anthems.
But Hallyu isn't just about the music. Let's switch from what the world is listening to what it's watching, because Korean storytelling is captivating audiences absolutely everywhere.
And to get the scale of this, just look at the Korea Drama Festival in Jeonju. This is no small, niche event. It's a massive celebration of hit shows from every platform you can think of. We're talking streaming giants, regular broadcast TV, and cable. The industry is just booming, and it knows it.
And these shows are doing way more than just entertaining people. They're actually sparking real-world conversations. For example, critics have pointed out how K-dramas are taking these really traditional figures, like the role of the mother, and reinterpreting them in modern ways that connect with audiences all over the globe and get people talking.
And if you want to see the real-world impact boiled down to one number, here it is, 550,000. That's how many people took the official Korean language test this year. And that's no coincidence. That's a direct result of someone watching a show, falling in love with the culture, and then deciding, hey, I want to learn that language.
So let's connect the dots. We've seen the music, we've seen the shows. Now let's trace the actual, tangible ripple effect that they're having on people's lives and on economies all around the world.
It's this amazing chain reaction that actually turns into an economic engine. It starts with a hit drama. That sparks this huge interest in the language. That leads to a massive surge in people taking language tests, which then creates a brand new demand for translators and interpreters to subtitle the next wave of shows. A single series can literally create thousands of jobs worldwide. It's incredible.
So this brings us to the core of it all. What's the source code for this cultural superpower? I mean, it can't just be slick production and talented artists. It has to be something more fundamental, right?
Remember October 9th, Hangul Day? Well, the country's own leadership started framing that day not just as a holiday, but as the actual origin point of all this power.
The idea is that the Korean alphabet itself, which is famous for being super scientific and easy to learn, is the very tool that made this whole cultural explosion possible.
And this isn't just some nice theory. It's now a stated part of the national identity. President Lee Jae-myung put it really plainly, saying that Hangul, K-pop, and K-drama are the three pillars that make South Korea a true cultural superpower. The message is loud and clear: our culture is our power.
So that brings us right back to our big question. We've seen how sound and story can project influence across the entire globe, creating jobs and shaping conversations. It leaves us with a really fascinating thought. For a country like South Korea, when culture becomes your most powerful export, what changes next? What does that mean for diplomacy, for the economy, and for the rest of the world?